Forget the old idea that a pickup truck is a tank that will last forever. That era is over. Today's trucks are fragile laboratories disguised as steel, machines that sacrifice your bank account to meet emissions standards. Beneath that gleaming chrome lie overheating turbochargers and aluminum parts that can't handle real-world use. If you buy a modern pickup believing it will last 3 generations, you're making the most expensive mistake of your life. Today, we dismantle the illusion of ruggedness and highlight the 14 models that will break the bank, especially the last 5. So let's begin. Number 14. Ram 1500. The Ram 1500 has long been a favorite among those seeking a balance between refined interior luxury and the raw power of the legendary 5.7-liter Hemi 5.8 engine. It's a machine that sounds powerful and delivers a driving experience few competitors can match. But behind that characteristic roar lies a design flaw that has plagued thousands of owners and resulted in heartbreaking repair bills. We're talking about the systemic problem with the camshaft and hydraulic lifters. This Hemi engine's design has a critical weakness in how the oil lubricates the upper part of the valve train when the engine is running at low RPMs or idling for extended periods. The lifters, which are responsible for transmitting the camshaft's motion to the valves, contain a very small roller bearing. Due to poor lubrication or oil change intervals that the manufacturer suggests as long but are excessive for this engine, these bearings tend to fail. When the bearing seizes, it stops rotating and begins to slip on the camshaft lobe. At that precise moment, the truck ceases to be a reliable machine and becomes a mechanical time bomb. The metal on metal sliding without rolling causes abrasive wear that literally begins to file down the camshaft. Number 13. Toyota Tundra. For years, mentioning the word Toyota in the world of pickup trucks was synonymous with almost religious reliability. The 8-cylinder Tundra earned a reputation for being indestructible, reaching 1,000,000 miles with the original engine in several cases. But the new generation of the Toyota Tundra has decided to abandon that massive, naturally aspirated block in favor of a 3.4-liter twin-turbocharged V6. This transition has been a thorny path and a source of costly disappointments for those who expected the same durability as always. The main problem that has put this truck on the blacklist of many financial experts is the premature failure of its turbochargers. To make a smaller engine move a mass as heavy as that of a Tundra and also maintain towing capacity, Toyota has had to push the forced induction systems to their limits. Numerous cases have been reported where the turbo's wastegate valves or the turbocharger's internal components themselves fail catastrophically at a very early age. What makes this a financial nightmare isn't just the cost of the part itself, but the vehicle's architecture. To replace the turbos in the new Tundra, the engine bay design is so tight that official procedures often require separating the cab from the chassis. Imagine the labor cost of having to literally dismantle half the truck to access a part that, in theory, should last the entire life of the engine. But the problems don't end with the turbos. Issue 12. Ford F-1500. The Ford F-1500 is the best-selling pickup truck and therefore one of the most reviewed on the market. Ford pioneered the introduction of direct-injection, twin-turbocharged engines called EcoBoost, promising the power of a large engine with the fuel economy of a small one. However, the first generations of these engines have proven to be a breeding ground for costly problems, leaving many owners with considerable debt. One of the strangest and most damaging problems is the accumulation of moisture in the intercooler. Under certain ambient humidity and temperature conditions, the intercooler's design allowed water to condense inside. When the driver accelerated hard to overtake, all that accumulated water was suddenly sucked into the engine, causing violent misfires or even piston damage due to hydroseizure. But if that seems like nothing, the real wallet eater is the timing chain stretch. Unlike rubber belts, timing chains should last a lifetime. But in first-generation EcoBoost engines, internal stresses and extreme heat cause the chain to stretch a few millimeters. This throws the engine timing off, causes terrible metallic noises, and can eventually lead to complete engine failure if the pistons hit the valves. Repairing the timing system of one of these engines requires special tools and many hours of specialized labor, as the workspace is minimal. Number 11. Nissan Frontier. The Nissan Frontier with the 4-liter V6 engine is a pickup truck that, at first glance, seems like a smart buy due to its simplicity and overall mechanical robustness. It's a veteran platform that has been tested on the world's toughest terrains. However, this pickup hides one of the most infamous and catastrophic design flaws in the modern automotive industry, primarily affecting models produced between the mid-2000s and early 2000s. The problem lies in the engine radiator. Nissan designed a radiator that shared space to cool both the engine coolant and the automatic transmission fluid. Over time, the internal walls of the transmission cooler within the radiator tend to fail due to corrosion. When this happens, the two fluids mix. The coolant enters the transmission, and the transmission fluid enters the engine cooling system. The result is a thick, bright pink liquid that enthusiasts have dubbed the strawberry milkshake of death. Once this strawberry milkshake enters the transmission, the internal friction components and electronics are destroyed almost instantly. The coolant dissolves the glue that holds the friction materials to the transmission discs, causing total failure. Number 10. Chevrolet Silverado. The Chevrolet Silverado has historically been a mainstay of the American workforce. Its architecture, based on small block V8 engines, is legendary for its simplicity and torque capacity. However, in the quest to meet increasingly stringent environmental standards, General Motors introduced a technology that has become the worst nightmare for owners of both used and new vehicles: the active fuel management system, or variable cylinder system. The technical premise sounds wonderful on paper, since when the truck doesn't require full power, the engine shuts down 4 of its 8 cylinders to save a few drops of fuel. The problem lies in the mechanical execution of this concept. To achieve cylinder deactivation, Chevrolet designed special tappets that collapse under oil pressure, blocking the valve's movement. These components are extremely sensitive to oil quality and pressure variations. Over time, the tappets become stuck in the collapsed position or break internally, preventing the valve from opening. This results in an immediate misfire and a deafening metallic noise, indicating that the engine is suffering internal damage, but the worst is yet to come. Number 9. Jeep Gladiator. The Jeep Gladiator entered the market promising to combine the Wrangler's unmatched off-road capability with the versatility of a cargo bed. It's a visually imposing vehicle that appeals to an adventurous lifestyle. But beneath that rugged aesthetic lies a pickup that many experts consider a delicate gem, with disproportionately high maintenance costs. One of the most recurring and documented problems is the steering system. Many owners have reported the infamous death wobble, a violent and uncontrolled vibration of the front wheels that occurs when going over a bump at speed. Although Jeep has tried to address this with improved steering dampers, the reality is that the solid front axle design, while excellent for off-road use, is inherently prone to this failure if the bushings or ball joints show even the slightest wear. Furthermore, the Gladiator suffers from fluid leaks that seem unbecoming of a vehicle in its price range. Number 8. Mitsubishi L200. The Mitsubishi L200 is known in many markets as the queen of hard work in mining and agricultural conditions. However, in its most recent versions, equipped with high-tech diesel engines and complex emissions control systems, reliability has taken a significant hit. The main problem lies in the diesel particulate filter system and the exhaust gas recirculation valve. This pickup truck is designed to operate at high loads, but many users employ it for short trips around town. This causes the particulate filter to never reach the temperature necessary to regenerate, becoming completely clogged. Once the filter is clogged, the truck enters a protection mode, reducing power to levels that make it almost inoperable. Replacing an original particulate filter can cost more than $2,500. On the other hand, the clutch system in the manual versions has proven insufficient for the load capacities advertised by the brand. Number 7. Ford Ranger. The Ford Ranger returned to the market intending to dominate the mid-size pickup segment, utilizing much of the technology proven in the F-1500. However, attempting to cram so much complexity into a smaller package led to some very concerning problems. The main source of complaints is the 10-speed automatic transmission. This gearbox was developed in conjunction with General Motors to optimize fuel consumption by keeping the engine in its optimal RPM range. The problem is that in the Ranger, this transmission often exhibits erratic behavior. Owners report extremely harsh gear changes that feel like someone is hitting the rear of the truck, or moments of indecisiveness where the transmission doesn't know which gear to select, causing a momentary loss of acceleration. These issues are not only a driving annoyance, but also indicate accelerated wear of the transmission's internal solenoids and clutch packs. Number 6. GMC Sierra 25,000. The GMC Sierra 25,000, equipped with the 6.6-liter Duramax engine, is one of the most capable heavy-duty towing vehicles available. Its presence is imposing, and its payload capacity is astounding. But its Achilles heel is the electronics that manage its emissions system and the infamous diesel exhaust fluid (DEF) system. The problem that has driven many owners to despair isn't a broken metal component, but rather a software and sensor failure. Thousands of cases have been documented where the truck displays a warning message on the dashboard indicating that the speed will be limited to 10 kilometers per hour over a certain distance due to a failure in the exhaust fluid quality system. The frustrating part is that many times the fluid is in perfect condition and the tank is full, but the internal sensors malfunction or the urea injector becomes clogged with crystallization of the product. Due to the way the vehicle's computer is programmed, there is no way to ignore this message, which can leave a driver stranded in the middle of a transport route with a multi-ton trailer. Number 5. Renault Alaskan. The Renault Alaskan is an example of how globalization and shared platforms can generate confusion and unexpected costs for the consumer. This pickup truck is the result of a technical alliance and is essentially a re-engineered version of other models from different brands. The problem with the Alaskan is that in trying to give it its own identity, Renault tweaked the suspension and certain aesthetic elements that have proven to be less durable than the original components of the base platform. Many owners have reported fatigue problems in the shock absorbers and rear suspension bushings before reaching 50,000 kilometers, especially if the truck is used on unpaved roads. But what really complicates the owner's life is the logistics of obtaining spare parts. Being a vehicle that shares genes but has specific finishes from the French brand, many body parts or interior electrical components have extremely long waiting times and prices that don't correspond to a mainstream brand. Furthermore, the 2.3-liter twin-turbo diesel engine is very efficient but requires injector and exhaust gas recirculation valve cleaning much more frequently than usual to prevent the engine from losing power or starting to emit black smoke. The lack of a service network that perfectly understands this hybrid platform makes diagnostics slow and expensive. Number 4. Toyota Tacoma. We arrive at a name that many would consider untouchable. The Toyota Tacoma is the undisputed queen of resale value and has one of the most loyal fan bases in the world. However, even this legend has a dark side that can literally split the truck in two. The Tacoma's historical problem, which continues to appear in various forms in more recent models, is chassis corrosion. Despite facing massive lawsuits and having to replace entire chassis in thousands of vehicles, Toyota's frame design still allows water and salt to accumulate in critical internal areas where there is no rust protection. A chassis that rots from the inside out is a financial nightmare because there is no safe repair. The only solution is a complete frame replacement, which costs upwards of $10,000 and requires disassembling the truck piece by piece. But it's not just the chassis. Newer models have experienced tailgate problems where supports bend or fail under loads that should be normal for a pickup. There have also been reports of issues with the 6-speed automatic transmission, which seems to struggle to find the correct gear, leading to unnecessary wear and tear and increased fuel consumption. The Tacoma lives off a reputation for invincibility earned by its predecessors 30 years ago, but current versions, while still better than average, have suffered cuts in interior material quality and corrosion protection to reduce production costs. Number 3. Volkswagen Amarok. The Volkswagen Amarok is a vehicle that defies the traditional logic of pickup trucks. With its 3-liter V6 engine, it offers a driving experience closer to that of a high-end sports sedan than a work vehicle. It's fast, refined, and extremely comfortable, but that sophistication comes at a high price when it comes to long-term reliability. The Amarok's core problem lies in the fact that it's a high-precision piece of German engineering operating in environments that are often dirty, dusty, and rough. The timing belt system is one of its most critical points. Unlike other large displacement engines that use steel chains designed to last the engine's lifetime, the Amarok relies on belts that must be replaced with surgical precision. A delay of just a few thousand kilometers in this maintenance can result in a failure that instantly destroys the valves and pistons, turning a $15,000 engine into a massive metal paperweight. Furthermore, the cooling system is extremely complex and prone to leaks in the water pump or the exhaust gas recirculation radiator. Number 2. 2500 Ram. When we talk about the 2500 Ram, we're talking about one of the heavyweights of the industry, a truck designed to move mountains thanks to its legendary Cummins engine. However, while the engine is usually a monument to durability, the component that must transmit all that power to the wheels has historically been its downfall. Chrysler's automatic transmissions, now under the Stellantis conglomerate, have maintained a history of failures that seems endless when subjected to truly heavy-duty work. The massive torque of the diesel diesel engine is so destructive that internal transmission components, such as the clutches and torque converter, suffer accelerated wear. Many owners report that when towing loads near their maximum capacity, the transmission begins to slip or overheat alarmingly before reaching 100,000 kilometers. Repairing a transmission of this size is neither simple nor cheap. The rebuild cost can easily exceed $7,000. Added to this are chronic problems in the steering and front suspension system, popularly known as the death wobble, where the truck begins to vibrate violently and uncontrollably at high speeds due to premature wear of the ball joints and tie rod ends. Number 1. Ford F450. At the top of the personal and light commercial vehicle pyramid, we find the Ford F450. It's a six-wheeled beast capable of towing more than 15 tons, but its high-pressure fuel injection system is a ticking time bomb that can explode with a single drop of water or a tiny metal shaving. The 6.7-liter Power-Stroke engine uses an injection pump known as a CEP4, which is extremely sensitive to the quality of diesel fuel. In many countries, diesel purity is not optimal, and if this pump does not receive adequate lubrication from the fuel itself, its internal components begin to disintegrate. The result is catastrophic. The pump generates thousands of micro-metal shavings that travel throughout the fuel system, contaminating the 8 injectors, the high-pressure lines, and the tank. When this happens, the truck stalls and will not restart. The repair involves not only replacing the pump, the entire fuel system must be replaced to prevent the metal fragments from damaging the new components again. A bill of $10,000 to $12,000 is standard for this type of failure, and the worst part is that warranties often void the claim, citing contamination from external fuel. This is an unacceptable vulnerability for a vehicle that costs close to $100,000. After analyzing these vehicles, it's clear that the automotive industry has prioritized marketing figures over on-road reliability. To choose a pickup that won't ruin your financial future, the key isn't looking for the one with the most screens or the highest torque figure in the brochure, but rather for mechanical simplicity.